Hello and welcome to VOP this morning. I'm Moses Humphrey, and working with me, of course, is Esther Umwachuku. Now we're talking about the naira. The naira's free fall against the dollar has been a matter of concern since the federal government floated the currency. Now, the CBN says it must take urgent measures to stop the slide. Oh well. Well, apart from that, we'll also be looking at what might have gone wrong in Niger State, where a Nigeria Air Force jet crashed yesterday. Of course, in the meantime, we would like for you to subscribe to our page on YouTube and tell your friends to do the same. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. First off, let's head to what the cover pages are saying. And I have with me in the studio VOP in-house analyst Cyril Abaku. Good morning to you, Cyril.
Good morning, Moses.
All right, so let's go straight into the cover pages of the papers. Let's see now. We have the Vanguard, The Nation, the Daily Trust, and if time permits us, we'll also touch on the Guardian newspaper. Banner headline from the Daily Trust isn't looking very palatable this morning. Well, you know what they say: bad news makes the news the most. Bandits kill many soldiers in Niger. Pilot, I beg your pardon? Yes, bandits kill many soldiers in Niger. That's the banner headline. And then underneath it has pilot dies as NAF helicopter crashes. Military mum on attack on personnel. Senator urges deployment of operatives to troubled communities. Cleric, wife, children abducted in Kaduna. All right. You want to chime in on that one in a minute?
The first question I'm going to ask is, how badly has this set us back in the war on terror? Niger State is the president's backyard. It's Mr. President's backyard because Niger is a stone's throw from the federal capital. So this is the president's backyard. It conurbates the capital city. And you know that in the past 1 or 2 years, a lot has happened in Abuja and in Niger State. Now, there were intelligence reports, nothing was done about it. Niger, at the time, Niger village was sacked, people were kidnapped, Catholic churches were attacked, up to the point where the Abuja prison break, the popular Abuja, the famous Abuja prison break took place. And up until now, it doesn't seem like Nigeria is aware that such a thing even happened. Because in terms of state response, nothing significant came out of it. So, ever since the president came into office, it appeared that gradually, initially it looked quiet, except what was happening in Plateau State and parts of Nasarawa, I think, as well as Zamfara. But obviously, when you see them come this close to Niger, it means that they've sort of gathered momentum back. Again, now I'm going to ask the question: how badly has this set us back? How is it that a state that is between the capital of the nation's military, which is Kaduna, and the capital of power, which is Abuja, people can just butcher soldiers, not even village soldiers, like that? If you're not colluding with them, then you must be incompetent. If they say that you are colluding with these attackers or you're cross, and why should we tolerate such mediocrity? That is one. Then number two, in that same state yesterday, a helicopter crash. That's what we've had. Was the church said one time that whenever there is war or outbreak of conflict, the first casualty is the truth. Not the people that they shoot, and the first casualty is the truth. He said, in such times, when a lie travels around the world 10 times, that it will take the truth 1.5 years to put on her clothes before she enters the road. So, without trying to impugn what happened yesterday, we commiserate with those who might have been badly affected. But what really happened, even with that jet crashing? What do we know? Mechanical failure, human error.
Well, we hear that investigations around the way. Let's step away. Let's step into other waters now. Let's look at another headline here: more woes for passengers as NCAA slams fresh suspension on Max Air. We also have CBN moves to rescue Naira, sanction banks over foul play. We fear coercion will split our families in Nigeria. Residents with dual citizenship. All right. And we also do have headlines here. Petrol Now 650 naira in Borno, Oyo, Delta as queues return in Lagos. Work peacefully with NNPP. Government in Kano, Ganduje tells lawmakers. Ritualists disguised as laborers kill Ondo pastor on farmland. UN, US, ECOWAS flay Niger's junta's plan to prosecute Bazoum. All right.
Yeah, well, the prosecution, so because even the coupists are being strategic and they are beginning to put on their thinking caps a bit more fittingly, even if I do not support the coup and I do not support the so purported the prosecution of President Bazoum. Of course, they're looking for a way to hang him so that his case closes. This is the way states always govern. Even for the worst of dictators, they will look for something to hang on to because they know that tomorrow that thing will come back to haunt them. But when there's documentation and legality, like when there's a legitimate for hand, that mostly usually court injunction, of course there's going to be a panel or take him to court. Will any justice or any judge, I don't know how they did it in French West Africa, boldly confront the junta and say this man is innocent? I mean, first they're going to get a special tribunal to try him. I get some malleable, pliable judges who will tell who are working to the question, not working to the answer. They already have the answer, and they're working to the question. So that is where Mr. Bazoum is, and the whole world is saying, look, we know that this man can't get justice. He may get judgment, but we know he's definitely not going to get justice. So please, let them deal more carefully. You took another headline about I can't pick it, but let me pick the one I remember about
queues. About queues.
The fuel queues problem. The presidency appears to be applying knee-jerk solutions, and a lot of people who had more faith than I did in President Bola Tinubu, I think are beginning to murmur. They're beginning to murmur very quietly. If you check the WhatsApp status, they will tell you see things. Some of them saying things like, yes, not just the government of technocrats, but the government of thinkers. And I'm saying this is it. Why do we first roll the policy out and then begin to think of how to control or contain the consequences? It's like the naira, the topic you advertise, the naira. Before you float the naira, why don't you look at the things you ought to do? Now, the other day, Okonjo-Iweala came to see the president, and some days later, the CBN is saying they're going to take measures to halt. Why didn't you get good advice? I have said it and I'll say it again, that arguably what is going to be one of the major undoings of this government will be that they don't have the patience and willingness to seek opinion. Let me tell you, I've told you this before, but let me share it on TV. When Abacha became head of state, he wanted to appoint a renowned accountant, Anthony Ane, as finance minister. The man told him, sir, I'm an accountant. I can't be a finance minister. I may know these things, but I'm an accountant. He told him, look for a real economist, a core economist, who will be an economic manager, and don't just appoint him, have a team. That was how Professor Sam Aluke became finance minister to Abacha and ran the economy very well. The likes of Professor, I can't pick his name now, is it Akman Ekboso from Akwa Ibom, former vice chancellor of the State University also, was on that team. Do you know that Professor Akman Ekbo alone has been on economic advisory teams of federal government since that time until I think until under Buhari? Because you need men with experience, men with understanding. Running an economy is not an easy thing. It's not where you just sit back and say, you see, the dynamics of the economy in the 80s is not the same thing as it was in the 90s, and certainly it's not the same thing as it is today. Things have changed. In fact, it was Chief Ogunlewe, former Works and Housing Minister, that said that we've even gone past the point where you have an economic management team. Well, you need a team on economic management, a team on innovation and research, a team on, because the world has gone further than where it was when we used to have economic management team. Was what people like Franklin Roosevelt did in America during World War II. The world has gone past that point. You need all the advice you can get. How many think tanks does the federal government have officially? How many think tanks do they have that in Abuja? If a think tank spoke, it became news and the whole government. There's nothing there.
They wouldn't tell you, even if they did.
They don't have them.
They probably have people they consult.
They don't have, but it doesn't show. So then what do they now do with the advice? You know, so this is the problem. Moses, let me just say this. If they indeed have, this will filter out. Babangida had a lot of them. That was why see, all the military dictators, Babangida and Abacha had economies that were so stable, that were so good, so much so that Abacha generated more power than Babangida even did. Babangida had 6,000 megawatts, Abacha had 8. The economy under Abacha was way better than it was under Babangida. How did they do these things? Is it that democracy makes us to relax and say we are civilians, so we're not, since people give us power, we're not under pressure to impress? I don't think it should be that way. I honestly don't think it should be that way. There should be, before you roll out a policy, the first thing you do, the first thing is to say, how do we contain the outflow? You say you float, so what are you now going to do? There are two things. You float the naira, supply dollar to make up for the shortfall, then gradually oversee the shutting down of the so-called, these people who sell the naira in the
Presidency. Marketers urge FG to tackle Forex challenge. Says pump price may rise next week. Alright, so yes, these are. Yes. It's because they're saying if the naira and the dollar continue to trade at the way it's going, there's a possibility that fuel importation will go up, which will inadvertently affect pump price. And we even saw that yesterday. Go further down the Vanguard newspaper, you have Naira slide, CBN moves to crack down on speculators. Gani Adams petitions Kwara government, warns of looming religious war. We also have headsmen kill 2 teachers, injure 2 others in Plateau school. Now, as you will be responding, I would like for you to look at the fact that the NYSC camp in Borno State has been reopened, and we should also be talking about security for youth corps members that will be deployed to that area. We know the unrest that has gone on in that area for a long time. That NYC camp was shut down for quite a long time, actually. Oh well, let's see now. Reps query jam over loop-sided employment. We also have, okay, and then something on sports. We have Napoli puts massive release clause for Siemens New Deal. All right. Okay, so yes, these are the headlines that we have. We have underneath, okay, these are the headlines that we have from the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, so yes, let's look at this one. The query, reps query jam over loop-sided employment.
Why? In a lot of places there is. Last week I think the story came out about 35 MDs shunning the reps panel on job racketeering. Federal jobs are mostly sold in this country. Pardon me, but it's the truth. So Professor Loyode as Ishak Loyode, they jammed UTME, they jammed the head of jam has, I don't know why I should.
Well, because federal jobs being sold, this has gone on for the longest time.
Forever. So I honestly don't even know what's wrong with the reps that they're not bringing, because it won't go anywhere. Believe me, it won't go anywhere. It's not. This is not something that it's not a battle they can fight to the finish.
In fact, it said that if you don't, it's man no man. If you don't know, I mean, even if you're not buying it by paying for it, it has to be somebody doing somebody a favor or giving somebody employment. So that's how it's been.
So I don't know why they are. Am I for it? Definitely not. But I mean, I hope he that goes equity is going with clean hands anyway. So if they, but of course, it is within the powers of the House of Reps to bring whatever malfeasance, whether it's jobs, whether it's whatever it is, to question. They have statutory constitutional powers to carry out oversight, okay, and to put things where they belong, assuming that we were sure and we knew that something good will come out of it. Why not? This is the way to go. Nobody is beyond is beyond question. Nobody is beyond probe. Nobody is beyond the capacity of the state to bring within the ambit of the law and to whip that person in line or that situation in line. So if if the reps, someone and probe is going to help us to get that result going, why not? But if it was just for show, we've had the aviation problem. The reps chairman, the Naji, chairman of the reps committee on aviation, said the Nigerian the Nigerian air launch was a fraud. Until today, nothing has has happened. The famous Farouk Lawan charade, when it came to light, and a number of proofs like that. NNPC proof, for example, we have all of these gone. So it would be nice if this can be checked, bring him on, ask him questions, and it shouldn't be, and it doesn't just end at question. Now, what we should note is this: where people come to do defense or are invited to face a panel and they've come and they give an answer, there's no satisfaction, the RAPS panel issue a report and so on. The other thing that can happen which should naturally happen is that the next time budgetary proposals are brought before them belonging to these agencies, that's where their real power now comes in. So the president must sit up and make sure that the people he's appointing are people who are worthy of his appointments.
All right.
You remember in 2003 or 5 when President Obasanjo held Rufai by hand, went to National Assembly to go and apologize for what Nasir had said about the senators. They told him, fire this man or you'll be in trouble. He said, no, I won't fire him, but he took him by hand and went to National Assembly and said, I apologize for what this man said. Or for what this man, I can't remember the comment he made. There he said they are thieves or they are foolish people. And they said, did you say that about us? You even saw the other time when Professor Keyamo came and they said, oh, that. So this is the thing. But in Nigeria, they know that anyhow you go pass. But if agency heads and ministry heads knew that if you did this thing, you won't get away with it, I can assure you that executive arm is going to sit up and sit up tight.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Cyril Abaku. That's where we'll drop anchor on the newspaper review segments of the show. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at what went wrong and why, again, in Nigerian Air Force Mi-171 helicopter on a casualty evacuation mission crashed at about 1 p.m. in Chukuba village in Niger State. Let's find out what happened when we come back.